Okay, it's 8 a.m. in California. I know it's different times wherever you are. So if it's good morning, good afternoon, we're going to get started with our first class of Sunday Winter Solstice Seminar. I have the really great pleasure to introduce to everybody Dimitra Zirou Sensei, and she is based in Athens, Greece. I had the wonderful pleasure of meeting her 5 years ago at our Aikido Extensions Training Across Borders conference. She is a student and teaches Tai Chi and Qigong since 1992 and Aikido and Aikido since 2002. I discovered she's an amazing documentary filmmaker and also has been a student of Japanese language, also calligraphy, shiatsu massage, and she uses meditation and martial arts to transform human energy patterns of violence into more understanding, compassion, and self-growth. So today's class that Sensei is going to lead is on where Tai Chi meets Aikido. Onegaishimasu.
Should I pin my, okay, that's fine. Good morning to everybody, or good afternoon for those who are in Europe. Actually, my home is in Athens, Greece, but since we have been for a month now in a very severe lockdown, I'm away in the countryside, so I'm not in Athens. I'm away from home, so I don't have neither my Aikido gi with me nor my Tai Chi. I'm in my normal everyday clothes. Hopefully going back to Athens next week. So my theme is a connection between Tai Chi and Aikido, things and energy patterns that connect Tai Chi and Aikido. And I had decided to emphasize and talk more on the yin-yang aspect, the ancient Chinese notion of the yin-yang aspect, and how this is expressed in movement in both Tai Chi and Aikido, and approach the Japanese equivalent of what the Chinese call yin-yang. And just for a few minutes, I will start with a more like theoretical part of it. So the yin and yang, ancient Chinese notions, they represent primordial energy patterns that have different qualities, different energy patterns and different qualities. So, and those are expressed in movement. In Tai Chi, it is very common. Yin and Yang is very discussed. What I've seen during my about 18 years practice in Aikido, Yin and Yang is not so much discussed and analyzed in Aikido dojos, but one can notice that in the movement. It is definitely there when you see somebody practicing Aikido, Yin and Yang movements are there. So those primordial qualities that are called Yin Yang, they represent not opposite, but complementary energy qualities. And one can ask, where do they come from? Where do they emerge from? So before the duality of Yin and Yang is born, their birthplace is, in Chinese, is called Wu. In Japanese, it's called Mu. It's the same ideogram. It is the great emptiness, the great formless. So Yin and Yang are born out of the great formless. They call it the void. Mu in Japanese is called the void, or the great emptiness. And many mathematicians have really been studying this great emptiness, and physicists. And it's not an empty, pathetic, passive emptiness. The Wu, or the Mu in Japanese, where Yin and Yang come from, it is recently in modern science named as the pregnant void, or the fertile void, the void out of which everything begins and where everything returns to. So Wu is a very ancient notion that was first introduced by Lao Tzu, the ancient Chinese philosopher, 5th century BC. And then it's the same ideogram in Japanese, it's mu. It is often in Japanese calligraphies in many dojos, they have excellent calligraphies of mu, and O Sensei also has this. So what are those qualities in theory, in our minds? What do they represent, those energy qualities? Yin is associated mostly with darkness, with shadow, the shadow part of a mountain or a hill, the shade, and therefore the night. In terms of temperature, it is associated with cold in the body and in the environment. It is associated in terms of movement with inward movement, from outside coming inward, and downward movement towards the earth. And it is also associated with the moon, as it is as an energy, and generally it represents the female energy of the universe. While on the other hand, yang represents whatever has to do with sunlight, bright sunlight, luminosity, expansion of space, outward movement and upward movement from the body going out, expanding, spaciousness, expansion, heat in terms of temperature and feeling in the body. It is experienced as heat. When we are cold in the body, it's a lack of yang energy. And in movement, as we said, it is outward, going out. Also, another aspect in terms of movement is yin is more circular movement, while yang is more linear movement. So all these things, we see them all the time in Aikido when somebody moves. It also has to do with harsh and soft, strong and soft. And this alternation in the body and in the mind between shifting from strong and harsh to soft. It also is associated with, yin is associated with yielding, this yielding quality and receptivity, while yang is associated with more aggressive forward qualities, not aggression, not in the form of violence, just aggression forward. And so those are more or less the basic, because there are thousands of them, the basic qualities that yin and yang is associated with. And then O Sensei, as it is mentioned in Saotome Sensei's book, he was often, in his time, he was often talking about those two qualities. In the Japanese equivalent, yin and yang is known as aramitama and nigimitama. Actually, aramitama is equivalent to yang, and nigimitama is equivalent to yin. And those notions in Japan, they originally came from the Shinto tradition. So mitama means honorable spirit. And aramitama means a wild spirit, representing yang energy and often violence in the Japanese way, while nigimitama means the peaceful spirit, which represents a cultivated energy of the warrior, which is more peaceful and less violent. So aramitama, which is the wild spirit, is equivalent to yang, while nigimitama, the peaceful, tranquil spirit, is equivalent to yin. And actually, I've seen it with my own eyes in one of Saotome Sensei's book, Aikido and the Harmony of Nature. He has designed himself the equivalent of Chinese yin-yang, the black and white. Saotome has designed this using the Japanese aramitama and nigimitama inside it. So through the passage of time, it is not so much talked about in Aikido dojos. So I don't want to talk more about that. I want to get up and do some movement so we can see how do we experience this in the movement and not just in intellectual explanations. I'm fixing my screen. So the first movement, we just stand with the feet parallel on the shoulder width, and we slowly breathe in and breathing out. We bend the knees slowly and let the Tantien area, our center, our heart, just sink a little bit towards the earth. And breathing in through the body, we open to the formless, open, and then exhaling, we start giving form to the formless, creating the first circle of emptiness, which is called Mu in Japanese and Wuji in Chinese. So from the formless, we create the first form that we can work with on a human level. So from this Wu, if our the bottom pole of the circle, the south pole, our left hand starts moving forward, then we split the circle, we start splitting the circle. One hand is directed up towards the sky, while the other is directed down to the earth. Our left hand has a tendency to expand eternally, but we stop it here, while the other one is really parallel to the earth, grounding and connecting us with the present. Our left hand that is going upward represents yang, towards expansion, eternal expansion, while the other hand, the right hand, is connected with the earth and connecting us with the present and our presence in space-time. So out of one, yang and yin have emerged. In this movement, in different variations, is very widely used in Aikido, like Tenchi Nage, when separating the two energies of heaven and earth. Ten is heaven and Chi is the ideogram for the earth. And then we bring the two together. Yin and yang unite and form the formless, again, the void. And then the right hand starts moving upwards, splitting the circle, creating yang and yin. While we feel with our body the different directions of those two energies, one going down, really making our root deeper, while the other one is expanding, creating spaciousness around the body. We feel both energies at the same time acting in the body, connecting with the earth while expanding to space on the other. And then one more time from inside, bringing one again, yin and yang are together. Breathing in and breathing out, they split, creating a very strong dynamic. Breathing in, they come together. Breathing out. They separate. And then we bring the two arms together. This is another form of Wu or Mu, emptiness. And then we come to the Hami position. We can step right foot back and we come to the circular position, to the triangular position. Let me just correct the screen so you can see my feet better. triangular position. And from here, something that looks for Aikido people, the movement looks like Torifune. We start going back, we're holding the circle, we shift our weight back, inhaling, and shift the weight forward, exhaling. Inhaling, while keeping the spine vertical, and exhale. We just hold this circle of void with us. Inhaling and exhaling. And now, while we move backward, inhaling, we also open the space, open the circle. Inhaling, opening, expanding, receiving. While we shift the weight forward, we push forward without stretching the elbows. So the opening, the circle, represents yin, receiving, expansion. Yang, contraction. Inhaling, receiving, and exhaling. Expressing energy forward. Inhaling, opening, receiving, forming a circle, and the circle becomes a line forward. Compressed energy forward. Yang. Inhale and exhale. And we change feet. The same with right leg forward, inhaling. Here we have to be careful, I'm showing. We have to keep the spine vertical. We're not supposed to do this and get out off center. So it is very important that we maintain our center. Inhale while yin is expanding. Now we have to know with the body what is the moment of change from yin to yang. If the yin is expanding too much, I get off center, I fall. If yin is expanding too little, it's not enough. So intuitively with the body, we feel what is the moment of change. When yin is full, when we're receiving is full, and it has to change to yang. Expressing. So the same, when yang is full, if we keep moving forward, we fall. We also feel when yang is full, it needs to change to yin again. Inhale and exhale, while this area, the heart and lung area, have to remain calm and not stressed. So the engine of our movement here is the Tantien and not the arms. The arms just follow the movement of Tantien. Inhale and exhale. Well, I would ask you to do 4 circles each with eyes closed to feel the difference. Just close the eyes and keep doing the same movement. Breathing in, open, yin. Receiving, opening. And exhaling, yang, linear movement forward. Giving, expressing yang energy forward. Just do a few circles with eyes closed. It will help you to feel the turning point when yin has to change to yang and when yang has to change to yin. So with eyes closed, we can understand the movement in a subtler way. One more circle. Let me just move this forward. So in Aikido, sorry, I have to move this. Oops. Sorry, my computer fell. I have to put it back. This movement, going forward and back, shifting the weight forward and back, we use it all the time in Aikido. But so it is a yin and yang movement. And from here, we pass to another expression of yin and yang in the movement. While we stand with feet parallel, we keep our arms and palms near the center, Tantien or Hara, and slowly we shift the weight to the right foot. The left heel is released, and just so once we go through the white crane movement. The white crane opens its wings, breathing in and breathing out. The energy is being gathered to the center. We shift the weight back to the back foot, breathing in, inhaling, expanding, yang. Breathing in, energy is being contracted back to Tantien, yin. So this is a very old movement, Qigong. It's called the white crane spreads its wings. Breathing in. The energy is going up to the fingertips and out. The energy is drawn back to Tantien while we step forward. Breathing in. And out. And now as we step forward with the right foot, we shift and stand on the left foot and move the right one. Breathing in. And out. Gathering energy into Tantien. Shifting the weight back. From the center, we're expanding. Inhaling. And exhaling, contracting the energy back to the center. Yin. Contraction. Movement inward. And yang. Outward movement. Expansion. One more time. Breathing in. And out.
since I don't want to disturb you as you're doing this, there's a question. Are you inhaling or exhaling through your nose, if you could, or mouth? If you could address that.
Yes, when we inhale, normally inhaling through the nose, in the majority of the Qigong, we inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. There are exceptions to this where there are Qigongs when you inhale through the mouth, but those are very few exceptions. And we can stay in Kibadachi position, like it's called the Ma Bu position in Chinese, the horse standing position. We can have the arms in front of the central axis and opening the right arm first, breathing in, elbow back and breathing out, expressing energy forward, opening, inhale, 1, elbow back, 2, exhale, 1 movement. Inhale, exhale. Yin, inhale, and yang, linear movement forward. Normally it is directed to the face. Breathing in and out. In terms of martial application, this beautiful movement that it's called brushing the knee, actually both arms are moving simultaneously. One is a yang hand, the other is a yin, and they alternate all the time. So the one that is doing the minimum movement, that is doing a semicircle, goes above the knee and grounds the energy to the earth, is the one that takes a linear energy coming, Qi, a linear punch that comes towards and takes it and grounds it down to the earth, while the other one at the same time opens and is directed to the face or to the heart space. So this is opening yin, soft, yang, hard, linear movement. Yin, inhale, yang, exhale. Then we shift the weight also. As the left arm opens up, we shift the weight to the left, so the whole body is in movement. Center and exhale. This is related to the heart, so the arm cannot be here. It has to be in connection with the rest of the body. Normally, when we push forward like this, this finger is connected to the heart and the central line. The thumb, if we draw a line from the thumb to the body, it is in front of the heart space. And also when we give like this, actually the center of the palm that is related to the pericardial meridian is also related to the energy of the heart and the element of fire, which is yang. So let's do one more from each side, breathing in, yin, opening, breathing out, and right. Breathing in and out. Let me see the time. Okay. And the last movement I want to do is also, it's called Tian Tu, or in Chinese it would be called Ten Chi in Japanese, heaven and earth. And we start with the knees slightly bent, connected with the earth, sinking our energy. And then breathing in, Tantian goes up and the arms follow all the way to the top of the head. Breathing out, sinking. Mind is shifting from the sole of the feet, breathing out, to the top of the head as we breathe in, exploring the two ends of the physical body, connecting with heaven and earth. The difficult part here is that the arms don't move by themselves. It's Tantian moves and then the whole body goes up. And the second part of Tian Tu is opening up from the central line, breathing in, opening up to the formless, to Wu, creating a full big circle, and exhaling, closing the circle in front of our Tantian. From our Tantian, breathing in, expanding, opening. The second circle closes to the top of the head, and exhaling, bringing this Tian energy, heaven energy, into the body through the central axis, passing from the three centers. And one more time, breathing in. Out. Exhaling, connecting the energy with our Tantian. And from the Tantian, opening up. And exhaling, bringing the energy through the head, throat, heart, stomach, Tantian, perineum, and all the way down to the feet, returning to the earth. So this Qigong that is called Tian Tu, heaven and earth, is often related in ancient Chinese texts to the tree. The human body is compared to a tree, that through the sole of the feet there are deep roots to the earth. From here we connect with the formless, and like a tree that takes energy both from the earth and from the sun and the sky, the same the human body. So through this, the energy is rising from the earth as we breathe in, going through the body. From the top of the head is opening up to the light like a flower. Exhaling, we gather the energy back to the main trunk, the body. And from the center, breathing in, opening again to the light and to space. Exhaling, collecting, gathering this energy back to the body through the central axis and through the three centers. The energy nourishes the body and returns back to the earth. And we put both feet together, yin side and yang side, and then breathing in, we open up, and the palms gather in front of the head, and breathing out, We go through the Chongmai, the central channel, bringing yin and yang together. And normally the bowing, we do the right arm is a fist, the left arm, it represents yang and the energy of the mind. The left hand is on top, represents yin and the energy of the heart. They both meet in front of the heart center, and then we bow. And just keep a few minutes in case there are any questions. Thank you.
I'm not seeing questions at the moment. I just wanted to say I feel incredibly balanced. It's such an amazing, wonderful feeling. And I think, I'm writing a book. I've been all this, the duality and into oneness into the many things is so beautiful. And I was just reading that in Chinese, they don't say yin and yang, it's yin yang. It's like together. I wondered if you might just share for a minute or two form. You move so beautifully. We could see you do some Tai Chi, if you would be willing.
Thank you, Jane. Actually, because of the solstice that is happening, I have translated from, because I have the book in Greek, from the most ancient, one of the most ancient Chinese books, which is the I Ching, the Book of Chains that dates 5,000 years old, where all the Chinese medicine and Taoism comes from. I had chosen one just paragraph to read for you that is representing this time of the year, this energy change, which is the more yin time of the year, the darkest days that we go through. And I just wanted to share this with you. It is hexagram number 36 from I Ching. It's called Ming, that means darkening of light, the darkening of light. And I just chose this paragraph. I just translated from Greek to English myself. So it says, the individual must not allow oneself without resistance to be carried away by adverse circumstances, nor to let one's stability be shaken. One avoids this by maintaining one's inner light, while externally one remains yielding and flexible. With such an attitude, one can overcome even the greatest oppositions. Yes, I
Good
think
words for now.
Yes, yes. So you asked me to show a few movements of Tai Chi form, right?
If you would, we have a couple minutes. It would be lovely to
In a couple of minutes,
see
I can show the introduction if you want.
Yeah.
Sure. Opening into Wu, connecting with the earth. From the formless, Wu Chi, the first form is created, and the first split yang and yin. And then Wu Chi again. Yin yang. Wu Chi. Separation. Yang going forward and yin to the earth. Bai He Liang Chi. White crane spreads its wings. Stilling the monkey, it's the 4 steps backward. It's called stilling the monkey mind. Pakwa, the 8 trigrams of primordial energies, thunder, sky, earth, fire, wind, water, lake, earth. And then the same from the other direction. And I stop here. Danbian, single whip.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Sure you see the chat, lots of appreciation and love for you in the chat, your wealth of knowledge. I mean, it feels like we just got the tiniest tip of the iceberg there. So thank you so much, Dimitra Sensei. And yeah, very, very wonderful and very helpful for all of us. Okay.